Welcome to Home Wizards, where we love to do great things to make the spaces you call home look better, feel better, just in a doable way. I'm Cindy Dole.
Hey, I'm Eric Stromer.
And it's all about improving your home and improving your life. And, you watch these shows on TV and you go, oh, I'll never be that way. But we like to make it really simple and break it down. So let's talk about what everyone's doing, and that's growing veggies, having an edible garden. But when you see it, when you read about it in magazines, you see it online, maybe you see something on TV or even hear about it here on the radio show, you might be doubting yourself. Do you ever doubt yourself?
Well, yeah. Who doesn't? But I'll tell you what I don't doubt myself about.
What's that?
Growing tomatoes.
Because you've done it.
I did it successfully. That's if you're gonna dive into anything, you could start with tomatoes and then graduate to herbs. But I think herbs are pretty easy, right? What do you think?
I don't know. Yes and no. Certain ones are. I've had a hard time with cilantro. The cilantro, I've been a complete failure with it. But I thought we would talk about how you could plant an easy, breezy, edible garden like in a day.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, let's do it.
So the first step is to plan and shop. So first step, you're going to figure out where you're going to have your edible garden, and you're going to want to find a space that's going to be enough space depending on how many veggies and edibles you want to have.
Okay.
And because a lot of times people underestimate the size that they think they're going to have. They either start off with too small of a space, then the vegetables are overrun, or they might just buy just a few plants and they could have had more. So really take a look at how much sun you want to have, at least 6 hours of sun.
Okay.
And then if you're going to just put them in the ground, is it going to be just plain old in the ground, or are you going to have raised beds? What are you going to do? Think of a layout. I think a good starter is 4 feet by 8 feet. What is your setup?
My tomato setup now is about 3 feet by 12 feet.
Okay,
so it's long and narrow.
Roughly about the same. Okay, and ours is strictly in containers. And we just go for the sunniest spot, and we have multiple containers, which is fine as well. So just think about where you're going to put them, and there you go. So that's step one. The next step is to know that before you are shopping for your plants, think about what you like to eat. Because when you get to the garden center, it kind of gets overwhelming. I mean, I think you start to think, well, do I want this? Do I want that? And you might overbuy. Like you've done that before.
I do it all the time. Especially with 3 kids. You just buy what you think you're going to eat, and then some weeks people just aren't eating stuff, and the stuff rots in the refrigerator.
And then the more times you feel like you're a failure or that you're not quite doing it well enough, then you aren't going to do it as much, and then you're gonna mope.
Well, you're gonna
cry.
You might hold yourself and whimper. That's right.
And that's when I have to come over and say, Eric, it's going to be okay.
Well, you say, that's okay, little fella.
Come on, friend.
Yeah.
Cheer up.
You'll make it.
You're a winner.
You're a winner.
You're a good edible gardener. Come on.
I think it's important too, because there are some, like for example, my wife hates rosemary. She just she doesn't like anything that has rosemary on it.
Not even in a food, not in a sauce.
It makes her. She gets like violent when it comes to rosemary. Okay. I don't know why, but I love it. So you got to pick something obviously that everybody's
you're going
enjoy.
to eat.
Yep.
And so I would say pick maybe 4 or 5 edibles that you're going to like. And we'll talk about some good ones to choose. In fact, I've got a good list of peppers that are easy, even in pots. Yummy bell peppers. But let's say, you want to have tomatoes or you want to have herbs or whatever. Know before you go to the store those 5 that you just want to eat. Okay?
Okay.
Then, after you go and you buy them, and you want to make sure, we're going to right now talking not about growing from seed, but from those little mini plants. So you go and you look for the best plant that looks healthy and happy, that it doesn't look shriveled already, because then that's not going to make you a successful gardener.
No.
It's already suffering. A lot of times the plants, especially in the big box stores, they're put in an area that might not be the right light.
Yeah.
And they're overwatered or underwatered, and so now you take it home thinking it's a bargain, but guess what? It may die on you before you even had a great chance to be a good gardener.
I bought some of those plants for my pond, and they looked great in the store, and as soon as I got them home, they were goners. So it's kind of difficult. You really do have to scrutinize every little plant that you're about to purchase, make sure it's the right one.
And so when you were researching and shopping for plants, and by the way, there's a lot of great apps out there, including one from Sunset Magazine that tells you what kind of light what kind of water, what kind of area in your zone that this plant will be happiest. Because a lot of these big box stores, they don't put them in the area where they're supposed to be. You bring them home, and then they go into a shock.
Yep.
And so you've got, so it's kind of like you have this, it's false leading. It's misleading when you think, oh, it's over there in this area. That'll work for my yard.
Right.
And no, they just slapped it there.
Yeah, and also I would suggest that you spend a little time talking to your salesperson. A lot of those folks.
Well,
really,
good luck.
Well, I know.
Not those folks.
The good garden stores.
Yeah, I think so.
Great information.
I think so.
But if you don't have those people to access, obviously go to yourhomewizards.com because, boy, we sure kind of know some stuff.
We do.
Yeah.
So then after you do get your shopping done and you found maybe 5 really good edibles that you know you're going to eat and you're going to love, then you want to amend the soil. We've talked about that a lot. It's all about good dirt. And you want to make sure that it's not only regular planting mix, but that it's it's mixed with maybe some compost, that's going to really give it the nourishment so that these plants are going to thrive and give you good veggies and stuff.
Yeah, and again, if you're doing a rather large area and you have access to a pickup truck, there's nothing better than going to a soil company or store. You can buy a pickup truck filled with nitro mix, they call it, for about $25 versus, $10-12 a bag, and you're literally getting 10 times more material for the same money. So
great.
It just sort of depends on what you have access to in terms of a transportation vehicle.
And it's all about the dirt. I mean, so yeah, if anything, I think I would spend a little bit more money on both the plants and the dirt. If you can't get a good wholesale deal on the dirt, if you aren't near one of those, just make sure you get the best dirt and the best, healthiest plants, because now you're going to feel like your investment is protected. And then after the heat of the day has passed, because we are, after all, planting an edible garden in a day, so by now it's not just 12 noon or 1 o'clock, but maybe it's a little closer to 3 o'clock. Now you're going to plant your plants, okay? Because you don't want to again go into a hot heat stroke shock kind of a setting, and you want to spread them out. You want to basically give them enough room so that in your garden they're going to have a chance for the roots to really take form and for the plants to grow. Because these plants that you bought, those little 2-inch plants or maybe a 6-inch plant, I mean, it's going to grow before you know it.
Sure is. And I'll tell you again, back to the kids, as they watch these tomatoes show up and start to flower and then create fruit, it was the most exciting thing in the world. And then when they pick them and bring them in, oh my God,
it's life-changing,
we're
right?
eating and they like tomatoes as a result.
And now they look at vegetables as like a cool thing.
That's right.
It's not like this, that's
right.
Yeah. So really, it's kind of like reverse psychology, and you're kind of sneaky in that way.
Yeah, it is. Well.
So you're going to get them into the ground, and you want to make sure that that the top of the root ball is level with the soil, and then you're going to water the garden well. And even though if it's a late afternoon, you want to water it maybe again in the early morning, all right? And so now you're virtually there. Your edible garden is ready to rock and roll. So now how do you make sure that you get some really good bell peppers? Well, I found some really cool ones. I mean, I love the idea of having this purple bell pepper. It's called the Black Hungarian. And we're going to put a picture of this on the website, but it's a medium hot bell pepper, and it has purple flowers and then shiny black bell peppers. So now you're getting more bang for the buck. How pretty is that going to be in your garden?
Beautiful looking.
Little purple flowers that bloom along with the purple to black bell pepper, and it calls itself the diva of the peppers.
Well, listen, and I don't even want to mention, but I will.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the antioxidants in that thing because of that deep red color? Hello.
And I think that would be so gorgeous in a sauce. Can you imagine how that would be?
Oh, man.
And stir-fried veggies.
Like a purple color sauce.
Yum.
Wow.
How about trying another really good one that's the red habanero? It's really, really hot. Do you love little kick? I love to feel the burn. I love to clean my sinuses out.
Feel the burn.
Oh yeah, and this one is gorgeous and sizzling hot. Just beware, you gotta love it because you're gonna use these hotties sparingly in sauces and salsa, and always wear gloves because the seeds. I mean, you get it on the seeds and then you touch your eyes. Have you ever done that? It's like fire. Terrible.
What is it?
Fire.
Yeah.
You want to get the orange blaze bell peppers too. Those are the sweets.
Yeah.
So you have the sweet and the heat, and they're great to grow. They look vibrant in the garden and in green salads. So make sure that you look for the orange blaze bell pepper. And then there's also another one called the pizza bell pepper. Yes, you could put it on pizza, and it's a single kind of a zingy pizza pepper. It's mild but zingy, and it has this very thick-skinned, banana-shaped tone to it. And then the fruit opens and ripens to this deeper red, and then it morphs to this milder taste. So anyway, I think I would consider all of those: the purple one, the red habanero, the pizza, and the orange blaze bell pepper.
Beautiful.
So there you have it.
Love it.
An edible garden in a day.
You know what? I can do this. I can do it.
You can do it.
Now
See?
I feel like I can do it.
You can do it. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about more things that you can do. How about, while we're talking about the garden, not only having an edible garden, but how about talking about some herbs that you may decorate as something you'll use as around a border, if you will. And then ground covers, because I know with your pond you've been asking, well, what do you do about ground cover? I've come up with some solutions to have cover on the ground that looks cool with the different kinds of hardscapes that you have.
Right.
What if you have travertine, or what if you have brick, or what if you have just concrete?
Sure.
What kind of ground cover looks pretty?
It's got to be softened with ground cover,
and what
or moss.
And what color is it too? Like what if you have like a sandstone or a peach ground cover, flagstone?
My pond looks a little phoenix-ish.
Yeah, we're gonna.
You know what I mean?
We're gonna soften that up.
It's a little too hard right now because there's no ground cover.
We're gonna find some solutions. So that's coming up next on Home Wizards. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, as we're here to help put a smile on your face and improve your home and improve your life. Don't go away. The fun continues.
In Johnny's garden.